friends, welcome or welcome back to the Blue Butterfly Tarot. So what I thought we would do today is we will be looking specifically into, I would say, a romantic relationship. All right, and I am intending this live to be whoever is finding this video. So if you are here joining me live, welcome. And if you are finding this video after it has been done, like after the live is complete and it is part of my live tarot readings playlist, then trust that there is a message here for you if you've stumbled upon this video. All right, so I am welcoming personal questions as well in this live reading. And for those of you who wish to submit a personal question, the description box will have the links. And please register your questions only through the links in the description box, right? But otherwise, you're welcome to, kind of tune in, listen in. I will be doing a couple of questions, but it is meant for whoever is here, whoever is watching this video, all right? So a little bit of an update about what is going on my end. I actually just took a couple of days off, more of a mental health few days, I guess I would say. Mental health days, kind of took some time off. I feel like the energies were a little bit too intense for me, but even otherwise, I feel like I hadn't really taken a mental health day in quite some time. So took it, feeling much better, feeling very good actually, and I think I should resume my normal schedule of the videos that I put every single day. Yeah, I should be resuming that by today as well. All right, so if you are here, welcome, and I'm going to start today's collective live tarot reading. And so the first question that we could start with, I think we'll ask, well, what is the current energy right now? All right, so for those who are tuning in, what is the current energy between them and the person on their mind right now? What is the current energy between them and the person on their mind? The Emperor. We also have the Hermit. Okay. So I feel like the current energy between you and the person on your mind, it looks to be that you might be having some expectations of your person maybe moving forward with the connection. You may be a little bit worried about whether or not your person is going to take those steps. It looks like there is a little bit of a pause in this connection at this point in time. It looks like maybe your person is kind of going inwards. Maybe they're not really, I guess I would say, even though you both are communicating, maybe you're kind of hitting a wall with respect to the depth of the conversations. If there are conversations about the future, then maybe your person is feeling a little bit hesitant. You're kind of sensing that they're not very open to thinking about what's next, or they're not really open to talking to you about what's next. But I do sense that there is some kind of expectation on your end. So maybe both of you have been in this phase for quite some time now, or maybe things have been up in the air between the two of you for quite some time now, and now you, it looks like, want to progress this connection. At this point in time, it looks like your person is asking themselves the question whether or not they are ready. I feel like maybe your person is trying to understand if they are at a place in their life to maybe accommodate this relationship, this connection. Your person may also be questioning, are they ready? Is this something that they want to do at this point in time? Does it feel aligned to them? So there is a little bit of that inwards energy, but it feels aligned on your person's end because it looks like your person really needs to ask themselves these questions, whether or not they're ready. Your person also could be someone, they don't really take steps until and unless they are absolutely sure. And to be absolutely sure, it looks like your person may keep questioning themselves. They may keep thinking about future possibilities to just see if they are ready for a particular, like, what if things go wrong? How am I going to handle it? Or what if this demands more of my time? How am I going to handle it? So it looks like your person might be someone who likes to think about all this, or maybe it makes them feel secure to think about the future and try to analyze if the decision that they are making right now is aligned or not. It also feels like with the Emperor and the Hermit coming up, it feels like maybe your person might not want to make the wrong decision, but it's also about understanding that this decision weighs. There is some kind of a depth to this decision that they are making as well. And I don't think that your person wants to take it lightly. So there may be a little bit of a pause. I mean, with the Hermit energy coming through, it looks like there might be a little bit of a pause in your connection at this point. It also feels like you might be waiting for an answer. You might be trying to gauge your person's reactions. You might be trying to kind of understand how they're feeling, but I don't think that your person is able to tell you what they're feeling at this point. It might just feel like you are not getting the information that you are looking for. So that seems to be the situation right now between the two of you. Let's kind of work off of that energy, and let's slowly start seeing maybe what your person is thinking at this point. All right, let's kind of take a look at that. What is your person thinking at this point in time? What is your person thinking at this point in time? You might be starting to get a little bit frustrated that maybe you're not getting the answers that you're looking for from your person. So we have hi. We have Clips 9007 saying hi. Thank you for being here. And so what is your person thinking? All right, let's kind of get into that. What is your person thinking? Ace of Pentacles. It's a very beautiful energy to come through. Of course, this is the Tarot of Oppositions deck, so there's like one end and then there's the other end that comes through as well, but we got the upright. All right, so what this means is that your person, I feel like your person wants to make a decision that is long-term, something that they can sustain. They don't really want to come in with energy that is forced, because that's the other side that's coming through. Can you see it? Yeah. So, hi, Conrad. How are you doing? I hope you're well. All right. So let's get back to the reading, but hi, I'm so excited that you are here. All right. So I feel like your person, first off, it's more about the weight of the decision, as we talked about. I think that they want a decision that they can sustain. They don't want to show up in your life and then realize, hey, this is not for me, or this is not something that I want to do, and then just completely back out. That's the Emperor energy that we already checked into as well. The other thing is your person doesn't want, maybe your person may not necessarily want to succumb to the pressures of what society deems to be a normal timeline. They want to do it when they are ready, and they want to move forward when they feel ready to move forward, not because someone else dictates, or not because it is the right time, and I put that in quotes because what is the right time? I feel like your person wants to be 100% sure before making any decision, and I think that is healthy energy coming through with the Emperor, the Hermit. I mean, we have major arcanas coming through, and with the Ace of Pentacles. So it looks like your person is leaning towards making a decision for this connection, but it has to be aligned. It has to be something that is not forced. It has to be something that it feels good to them. It feels like, yes, this is something that I can sustain long term as well. Coming through is your person may be a little bit worried. It's interesting that this is coming through. I was watching Bridgerton last night. The new the new season, but part 2 just released, and not like the starting part of part 2 were filled with bees, and was that the starting part or one of the episodes? It starts off with a lot of bees, and that was very interesting. The bee is very significant in the Bridgerton. For me, when I think of the bee, immediately right now, it's like Bridgerton season 2, where the main character, Anthony, he's kind of traumatized by bees, as in his father passed because of a bee sting. And so I feel like there might be some past coming through for your person, maybe some kind of a relationship, a significant relationship in the past where your person feels like they don't want to repeat that mistake. It could be in your connection as well. Maybe this is another cycle that both of you are trying to get off the ground and your person doesn't want to repeat past mistakes. It also might be a little bit like traumatized from maybe something that went really wrong, something that changed your person's life completely and they had like no sense of control, and your person does not want to repeat that. That's also the Emperor and the Hermit energy coming through, where they don't want to make a decision that makes them feel this loss of control. That could also be it. But overall, I actually see very, very beautiful energies coming through where your person is starting to make a decision, and that decision feels aligned to this connection. But at the same time, it's more of, am I ready to make this decision at this point in time? Can I make this decision without letting my person down? And if I move forward with this decision, what's going to happen? Can I handle that within me? So these are all important questions that your person's asking themselves. Like I said, it's about not wanting to repeat a past mistake or not wanting to lose some sense of control as well. So overall, looking to be very aligned. They might not necessarily be telling you all this. I mean, with the Emperor energy, not the most vocal, not the most expressive with respect to their emotions as well. It's more of, kind of thinking about it, feeling it deeply, but at the same time, also having a very logical and a very rational approach to whatever it is that they're going through, but not necessarily telling anyone. Again, I feel like it's more, they're not telling you because they don't want it to be premature, but at the same time, it's also maybe the fact that if they were to tell you what they are thinking and what they're feeling, maybe that would add pressure on them. And I don't think that your person at this point in time is ready to take on that pressure, right? And I don't think that they want to put that kind of pressure on themselves as well. It feels like with respect to the other side of the Ace of Pentacles, it would probably be like, oh, someone's forcing me to have this new start, but I have to first see if I'm ready for this or not, right? Okay, so that is what are they currently thinking right now. Let's kind of look at what are they currently feeling, right? I am taking personal questions in this live, absolutely, but and the live questions are going to be for the collective. So if you're here, just trust that maybe there is a message for you. If you want to ask a specific situation or a specific question for your situation, you can absolutely do so. I will be answering it live. You can do so by registering your questions through the link, and the links are there in the description box below. All right. Okay. So let's get into what are they feeling right now. Let's get into that because we just now got into what are they thinking. So let's get into what is your person, what is the person on your mind feeling right now? Let's get into that. Ooh, Knight of Pentacles. Good. That's a really, really good one to come out. So not yet completely ready, all right, but they're getting there. I feel like one by one, these questions are being answered. Might be a little bit slow. I know, I understand that. I feel like you might be waiting on their answer. You might be waiting for them to be ready. It's slow energy. I mean, the Knight of Pentacles is slow energy, but at the same time, it's very steady. It's slow but steady. It's energy that will come through. Right, so that's kind of the energy that's coming through. That's also what they're feeling. I feel like your person is someone, maybe they like to be known, or this is part of their identity, to be someone who follows through whatever they promise or whatever it is that, like, it's kind of like I'm hearing man of my word, but I mean, of course, man, woman, gender doesn't matter. It's just the term that's coming through my mind. So maybe your person is just someone like that, where if they say something, there's a certain weight to that. They have to follow through with it. It's kind of like this internal system, it's internal belief system that they do have. And so they're not completely there yet, all right? I feel like your person, even though they're not really expressing what they're thinking, they're not really expressing what they're feeling, that sense of, I want to be able to do this long term, but can I? Very strongly. And I feel like your person, it's more of, can I keep up my word? Can I give this the kind of commitment that it deserves? Can I give this the kind of time and energy that it deserves? So that's more of the energy that's coming through. I would say this is actually very aligned to come through with the Emperor, the Hermit, and then the Ace of Pentacles, and then with this also coming through. I feel it's very, very aligned because your person's thinking about it, not just thinking about it. It feels like the more your person takes time to ponder upon these questions that they have, the more steady they're feeling within themselves to take the next step. It might not be step in 3D, so you might not necessarily recognize it as, oh, my person is taking a step towards me, But even if it is that question answered, like for example, if something goes wrong, I commit to this and something goes wrong, uh, can I resolve it? Do I have it within me? And then maybe after some time of pondering, your person is able to come to the conclusion that yes, that by itself is a step. It's not really shown to you. You don't really necessarily see it, but this is still a step that your person is taking within them as well. All right. And that's important, I feel, for your person's process. Your person might be someone who, like, they need to feel it within themselves that they can handle it before they take a step forward. And that's the process, that's the internal process that's going on. For those of you in no contact, it's understandable that you might not necessarily know what your person's thinking or feeling, because I don't think that this person, even if they're processing this internally, I don't think that they are going to be telling anyone about it. So you might even be asking your friends about where your person's at, but they're not really talking about it. I would not be surprised, because it feels very internal, like that. It's like literally the hermit energy coming through, right? So it doesn't feel like your person's talking to anyone about it. They might not even be giving hints that they are thinking about this. So it's very private thoughts. All of this seems to be very private thoughts. But at the same time, the more that your person's actually thinking about this connection, the more that they're answering these questions within them, the more they're feeling steady within themselves that yes, I can do this, or yes, I will be, if this problem arises, I will be able to resolve it, or I will be able to move things around in my schedule to give time for this. So there is that mental correction or mental yes, yes, yes notes that are kind of forming in your person's mind. And that's the Knight of Pentacles. So slow, but it's steady. I feel like there is something big that your person's kind of moving on from, moving past as well. Maybe they made an impulsive decision in the past, or maybe, sometimes it can happen, right? When things go completely out of your control, like you feel that loss of control, and you don't know whether you're able to handle it. You don't know what's going to happen. And I feel like your person doesn't want to relive that, or they don't want to put themselves through that again. And so they need to go through this process. No judgment over here. Sometimes I feel like, depending on what you've been through in life, sometimes you really need to go through that process with yourself. You really need to maybe understand different scenarios, work it out in your mind, see if you can handle it. Sometimes that's just how it is. And especially when it comes to your relationship, it looks like your person their energy might be slow, but it looks like it's very steady steps. It's also about, they will only take the step when they're ready. And when they're ready, there's no looking back. Like, that's kind of the energy that's coming through from your person. But overall, I would say, even if there is no contact, even if there is difficult energy between the two of you, your person's processing it. They're not distracting themselves with work or doing other things. No, they're actively thinking about this. But it is through that thinking, it is through that that work through process that they're going through, that is helping them make a decision about this connection as well, right? So that is with respect to what they're feeling. I guess with respect to what they're feeling good. They're feeling good. The more that they're answering these questions that they're kind of coming up within them, the more your person's feeling good, the more they're feeling like, yes, there's something that I can do, or this is something that I can do, or yes, I'm able to do this. Yes, I can move forward with this. So the more that your person's taking the time, the more the yeses keep coming through on your person's end, or the more they're working it out, the more they're feeling open towards this connection. And especially with the Knight of Pentacles, it looks like something's coming your way with the Pentacle energy coming through as well. So I think that the intention is there. I guess I was called to correct that. The intention is building at this point in time. So there's momentum also building behind the scenes, even if there is nothing in 3D, even if it feels like your person doesn't want to express this part of them, but it's on their mind and it's heavy on their mind as well. All right. Then let's see, maybe what would your person want to say to you if they could? Right? What would your person want to say to you if they could? So just wanted to note hi to everyone who is here. Thank you so much for being here. The live tarot reading is for the collective. Of course, I am taking personal questions, like specific questions for your situation. You can absolutely do so, but you have to register your questions. Register your questions only through the links in the description box below. Right? But otherwise, you are welcome to just join in, and trust that if you've stumbled upon this video, trust that there is a message here for you. Right? So let's kind of get into maybe what would they want to say to you, all right? What would they want to say to you? Let's kind of get into that. What would they want to say to you? King of Cups, but the other side, all right? So we have two sides. This is the Tarot of Oppositions. So we have this side, but then we got this side, all right? So let's talk about it. All right, so at this point in time, it's possible that your person in the past, because I am getting a little bit of past energy, so it's possible that maybe at one point your person thought that they were ready for this connection, or it could be another connection, and then it just completely, went out of control. Like your person was really not ready, even though the feelings were there, because we do have the King of Cups. So maybe the feelings were there in the past, but your person wasn't ready, wasn't emotionally ready, or they weren't mentally, physically ready, financially ready as well, because there's quite a bit about pentacle energy that's coming through, even with the Emperor. So I feel like maybe in the past your person thought they were ready for a connection, or at least they felt like, yes, I have feelings for this person, so let's move forward with this. But in the past, what your person has learned is that it actually worked against them. Feelings are not enough. You need more. There are other practical things to think about. There are other things to think about, whether they are emotionally available. Yes, they have feelings, but are they emotionally available to maybe cater to another person? Can they mesh with your energy? Can they be a part of this connection? An equal counterpart in this connection? Will they be able to maybe give time and energy towards this connection, towards a connection? Maybe in the past, like I said, the person thought feelings were enough, but there's a bit of more practical energy coming through. I feel like this energy already started coming through when we started channeling. It was more of a very logical and rational route, but I feel like that's just the journey that your person has taken, where they feel like, feelings are not enough. I need to be ready for this connection. I need to genuinely feel ready for this connection in order to move forward. And so that's the King of Cups energy coming through, where they're recognizing that, as much as they do have feelings in order to move forward, but they're getting there. I will say there, it's more of, I do have feelings, but can I handle the more 3D aspects of this connection? Can I handle the reality of this connection stepping into my life? So you might have had a false start in the beginning. I would not be surprised if this is about your connection that's playing through. It might be that you might have had a false start. A false start is where your connection, it looked like things were going to start and then it just completely did not, or your person just vanished. For others of you, it could be that maybe this is another cycle that's playing out, and maybe one cycle, both of you, like things went really fast between the two of you. Both of you were not able to handle the energy of the connection. That's also possible. But for some of you, I feel like a small percentage of you that's tuning in, I feel like it could be past mistakes that your person may have made. I don't really like to use the word mistake. I prefer using misalignment. So it could be that your person was a little bit misalignment with respect to maybe past relationships. It doesn't have to be like a romantic one. It could also be maybe with respect to their platonic relationships, or it could also be, I'm getting, maybe they really felt something towards maybe a specific goal at their work or specific career path, only to realize that they needed to have other things figured out in order to actually sustain what they were feeling towards the goal. So it not necessarily has to be a person, but I feel like this is a lesson that played out for your person, and this is more of like a conscious to make that mistake. I am going to be very aware what I do next, and I'm going to make sure that I am completely ready for it before I take that steps, because feelings are just not enough. Like, yes, feelings are very, very important. It's a big portion of why I'm even moving forward, but I also need to figure out other 3D matters, other practical matters before I move forward as well. So that's kind of where your person is coming from. They might not be, like I said, might not be the most expressive when it comes to this thought process, but there's a lot of fear that's coming through, even in the energy, that your person doesn't want to repeat something that they've learned. And it seems to be a pretty big lesson, because there's so much of hesitation before, like there's so much of hesitation to take a step before they're ready. That's one big message that's coming through. So maybe in maybe I am getting that your person may have been someone who, I guess maybe flowed a lot with, like, if they have feelings, they would just go for the connection, but they started to realize that there's supposed to be more. They're supposed to, maybe when they did that, a lot of their past wounds came up, or they weren't financially ready. They realized that they hadn't got certain things in their life figured out. So it feels like there were a lot of misalignment signs coming through for your person when they made this decision of just flowing with their feelings in the past, and they've come to a conclusion that feelings, just having feelings, is not enough. I need to be ready for this connection. So that's the next question. Am I ready for this connection? And what does that entail? What does being ready for this connection really mean? Right? So they have been giving this connection some serious thought, even if they have not really spoken about it, or even if they seem busy on the outside. A lot of thoughts have been going on. For some of you, there's something connected. Your person could be an entrepreneur, or could be thinking about entrepreneurship, or doing something on their own. That's one energy that's coming through. But take that as it resonates. There's another message that's coming through that it could be about their financial situation. Maybe they're waiting to hit a certain goal. They're waiting to clear off maybe student loan or a particular debt. That could also be it. For some of you, maybe your person's waiting for things to shift at their work. There's something about finances that's coming through very, very strongly. Maybe your person, it doesn't look to be a hindrance. It honestly looks like your person's got it sorted out, but it is a factor behind the decision. So maybe both of you could be long distance and your person wants to have their financial situation figured out. Like, maybe make sure that, yes, I can travel to meet my person. I do have the finances, or I can make the time, or I can work things around in my schedule, my work schedule, in order to make time for my person as well. All right, so there's something to do with finances that's coming through, but if that doesn't resonate, it could just be stability. It just could be whether they can give the connection the time and the energy that they feel you deserve, right? So that is how your person, like, what they would say to you if they could. Now let's get into maybe let's see what are their current realizations. All right, let's get into that. All right, okay. So we're looking into what are their current realizations. For those of you who are tuning in right now, hi, I just wanted to say hi. I do have Master of Football CR7289 saying hi, so hi over there. And I'm doing a collective live tarot reading. If you are here, or if you found this video after this has maybe gone into my playlist after the live is done, trust that maybe there is a message over here for you. If you want to ask a specific question for your situation, you are absolutely welcome to do so. I will be taking live questions, or I will be taking questions for the live, but you have to register your questions through the link. All right, but otherwise, you're welcome to be here. I'm just doing a collective tarot reading where I have intended it to be for whoever tunes in, right? Okay, so let's take a look at maybe what are your person's current realizations, all right? What are your person's current realizations about, let's specify, hold on. What are your person's current realizations about themselves? Because this is a little bit more about your person, right? So what are your person's current realizations about themselves? What are your person's current realizations about themselves? Oh, this is beautiful, temperance, and this is the other side that's coming through, right? So we have this side where she's pouring out sand, but this side where it seems very magical, it seems very, very beautiful. All right, beautiful energy to be coming through. The person's understanding that they can handle it. Whatever it is, they can handle it. So it's not more so that they are trusting things to be okay. It looks like there is a level of trust that's building within your person. They're like, yes, I can do this. Yes, I feel it within me where I can actually handle the circumstances. So where your person's understanding, and I feel like there's a beautiful balance that's coming through where it's a little bit of intuitive understanding that, yes, I can handle it, but I feel like the intuitive understanding is tied very much with the grounded and practical questions that they're asking themselves, like, can I do this? Will I be able to give them time and energy? Will I be able to give them maybe am I emotionally available enough to be a part of this connection? So the more your person's answering yes to these questions, and I feel like your person may also be kind of picturing different scenarios, like if this happens, how will I handle the situation? Or if this happens in our connection, will I be able to handle it? How will I work through it? So the more that your person's answering these questions, the more they're feeling that intuitive connection growing within them. I feel like they already do have a good connection with their intuitive guidance, but I also feel like their fears might be a little bit too loud, might be overshadowing their intuitive guidance. So what's happening at this point is the more that your person's getting these questions answered within them, that the more logical and the more practical questions, the more they're feeling within themselves that yes, I can handle whatever comes through. And I'm seeing a lot of branches. So I feel like it's like one thought and then branches out into two, and then that branches out into furthermore. So there's a lot of tangential thoughts that are coming within your person about this connection and about what could possibly happen. But like I said, I feel like it might be a little bit of a trauma response that's playing out with your person, but overall they're feeling good. They're feeling good and they're feeling ready within themselves. I feel like one of the biggest realizations is that your person's understanding with temperance that they may not necessarily have control over everything that happens in this connection, but they can trust themselves. They do have it within themselves to keep moving forward, or they will figure it out. That's kind of the energy that's coming through. Another message that's coming through is your person, I think, really wants to ground their energy, but at the same time, it's more of I want to flow, but I also want to ground my energy. So there's a little bit of that conflict that's going through. But of course, with temperance coming through, it looks like they are balancing that energy where they are going to be going in a flow, but it's a little bit more structured, or at least they feel secure within themselves, like they have the armor, even if they are flowing with the connection. So the reason why I smiled is there is this quote. I probably am not saying it correctly, but there's this quote that says, "I'm okay with the plan. I'm okay with going with the flow as long as I'm well aware of the plan, and then there's like specific points that the plan has to go through." So I feel like that's kind of the energy of your person, where they want to flow. I feel like they do feel that. I also feel like your person wants to be someone who kind of takes on life. There is that energy and that vigor that's coming through, that they want to be in that energy. But maybe, given what they've been through, completely understandable. Sometimes you may want to flow with things, but your body might not be necessarily ready. Your mind might not necessarily be ready. Your mind needs few answers before it moves forward, regardless of what you truly desire within you. So I feel like that's kind of the clash that's coming through, but I also think that your person's handling it very beautifully as well. I think that they're doing their best, but at the same time, they're also understanding that they do need some time to figure it out within themselves before moving forward. It's a very beautiful realization to have about themselves. It's also, I think that your person's holding space for this mental process that they need to go through in order to ground themselves, which I think is really nice as well. I think it's also quite healthy because your person seems to be quite self-aware that they need this process, even if, yes, there are going to be things unexpected down the road and they cannot plan for every single thing. Your person seems to recognize this, but it's more of, yes, I know all of this, but at the same time, I need to feel protected, right? So well, I would say for the comment in the chat, I would say, trust your intuition about it, whether this aligns or not. Don't force. If the reading doesn't, align, don't force it to. But trust your intuition. And I would say take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because this is a little bit of a general collective tarot reading, right? So take what resonates and then leave what doesn't, and align it to your situation, and of course, align it with your intuition as well. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at another question. So we've kind of looked into current energy. We've kind of looked into where your person is at with respect to their thoughts, their feelings, and then what are they realizing. So maybe let's take a look at what would they want you to know. Let's get into that, all right? So what would your person want you to know? about themselves, about this connection. Let's kind of keep that a little bit open-ended. And before I get into the next question, I do want to say, for those of you joining in, hi, thank you so much for joining in this live tarot reading. I am doing a collective live tarot reading, and of course, you can absolutely find this video even after as well. It will be part of the live tarot reading playlist that I do have on my YouTube channel that is available for all. If you found this video even in the live or through the playlist, just trust that maybe there are a few messages here for you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And if you want to ask a specific question to your situation, you may absolutely do so. I am taking in personal questions for this live. You can do so and register your questions through the link only. All right, so the links are there in the description box below. But otherwise, I am doing a collective tarot reading for whoever is watching. I am intending this reading to be for whoever it is, whoever is tuning in for this video, whether it is live or whether it is after this video has been saved to the playlist. All right. Okay, so let's get into the next question. The next question that we're looking into is, what would they want you to know? All right, let's get into that. What would your person want you to know? Stephanie, what would your person want you to know? What would your person want you to know? Four of Swords. Yes, they need this time. They really, really need this time. I honestly feel like even though your person's feeling steady and secure as they are going through this thought process, it's more of an internal process. I feel like your person, the more there are people around them, or the more there's noise, external noise around them, it looks like your person may not be able to make that decision, or they feel more chaotic within themselves. It also looks like your person is someone who likes to process things within themselves first before they tell anyone what they're going through, or before they share their thoughts with anyone. So even at this point, if your person is not really talking to you, they're not really able to share what they're going through, just trust that they are processing it, and trust that as much as it is a bit chaotic on their end, and yes, I am seeing that chaos a little bit, trust that your person will be able to figure it out. But I would say that maybe when this started out, like your person's thought process, I think that they were spiraling a lot. But I feel like the more that they give themselves this space and this time to spiral, the more they're actually feeling their thoughts grounded. Because the way that I am kind of seeing this energy is they're spiraling, yes, but that spiraling is actually helping them ground their energy. It's helping them feel more ready for this connection, feel like, yes, this is something that I can do. So it's a little bit counterintuitive. I think that this is also something that your person is understanding, that they actually need their thoughts to spiral, like go through various possibilities, different kinds of situations. And, you know, if you go back to what we talked about, the kind of branches that I was seeing, I'm still seeing it. And it feels like it's not just one line of thought. It's like many lines of thoughts that your person's going in. It's like jump hopping with their thoughts. That's also the energy that's coming through, where it's like, it's not just what will happen if, okay, for example, let's actually take an example. For example, we have a fight. That's you and your person. For example, we have a fight. How am I going to handle that situation? And then your person, maybe the thought branches out as, okay, well, if we have a fight, then I am going to try to understand their point of view. Then the thought spirals as in, okay, well, what if I don't understand their point of view? What's going to happen then? And then your person finds an answer for that. Maybe the answer is, if I don't understand their point of view, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. And then the thing spiral, like it spreads out. Okay, what if my person's not ready to talk about it? What if I'm ready, but they're not ready? Or what if I'm not ready to talk about it? What if we're like in very intense energies? How are we going to handle it? You see the amount of thinking that's going on within your person. And of course, when this started out, these were just very up in the air thoughts. All right. It was just like all of these questions that were just there as a bundle that may be, that may have been a little bit overwhelming for your person. It's quite understandable, right? So that may have been very, very overwhelming for your person. But the energy that's coming through is the more your person has actually stayed with these questions, even though they didn't have answers, or even though it was like a bundle of these questions, the more they are actually like mentally processing it, the more they're actually working through it with their mind, whether they're consciously doing it or not, they're actually starting to feel a lot better about these questions. And the more that these questions, the more that your person answers these questions, the more they're feeling like, okay, I got the answer for that. So I'm feeling a lot better about this. I got the answer to another question. I'm feeling a lot better to this, but it's the spiraling. What I'm hearing is it's needed at this point in time, and that's what they would want you to know, that it's not that this is not an easy decision for them to make. No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with you or how they feel about you. It's more that this decision, it's important to your person, and because it's important to your person, they have their own process to go through in order to be ready for this decision, in order to align with what they truly feel for you, for this connection as well, right? So I feel like one big message that's coming through is your person's allowing themselves to spiral, and that by itself is actually helping them a lot in what they're going through. And that's what they will want you to know. I want to get one additional message about that, so let's just get one more message about that. We have the Seven of Swords coming through. Yes, I feel like your person, there is a bit of helpless energy that they need to go through the spiral in order to come out on the other side feeling stable and secure about this decision. A little bit of that helplessness, a little bit of that frustration coming through, that why am I like this? Why can't I, be someone who can just carefree make this decision? Maybe they were like that at one point in their life. It's possible that your person may be reminiscing a little bit and saying, well, a past version of me would have just immediately just rushed through and not really cared about the consequences of this. But today there's so many questions that I'm asking myself. There's so many things that I have to navigate through in order to make this decision. And that's painful. And that feels painful for your person as well. It feels like, they're a little bit restricted. They're a little bit hopeless, because I feel like if your person didn't have all of these stopping them, it looks like they would make the decision to move towards you. It looks like they would come. It's like a no-brainer thought. So whatever your person is feeling at this point in time, this thought process that they have to go through, it's not about you. It's not about whether they want to be with you or not. In fact, I think that your person has very, very strong desires to move forward in this connection, to maybe take this to the next step, to maybe make sure that both of you are in this long term. There's a lot of long-term thought process and energy that's coming through. However, I also feel like with your person, it's more of they need to go through this thought process, and it's not, and they're hoping, I guess I would say, with the Seven of Swords coming through in this side, they're hoping that you will not take it personally, that they're taking time to make this decision. Like, the time that they're taking to make this decision has got nothing to do with how they feel about you. In fact, it is because they feel that intensely about you that they're taking this time for the two of you to make sure that this doesn't crumble after they've made the decision to move forward, right? So it's a little bit difficult, I guess I would say, to come to that thought process, on your end. It might be difficult to see that your person's taking a long time in your perception, of course, because time is relative, right? But in your perception, maybe if roles were reversed, if things were different, maybe you would have made the decision a lot faster than your person. Maybe that's what you feel, or maybe you are ready, but you feel like your person's not ready. And maybe that's making you feel like maybe, your person doesn't want to move forward, or maybe the fact that they're taking so long to make a decision in your thought process. Of course, I want to keep saying that, but your person hopes that you wouldn't feel that way, that you would understand that they're completely helpless in this thought process that they need to go through in order to make this decision. It's got nothing to do with how they feel about you, how deeply they feel, nothing to do with that. In fact, it's because they feel deeply that they need to go through this process. I would say, let's actually get you one advice. I'm already feeling the advice that's coming through, but let's get the advice and then we'll look at your person's next action, all right? And then we'll wrap up the reading for today. So we'll get into advice for you. Hold on. Of course, for those of you joining me here, hi. I hope you are doing well. And this is a collective tarot reading that is live. And I'm just looking into a specific situation. Of course, if you have any questions specific to your situation, you may absolutely do so. I will be answering questions live. I'll probably be taking questions for another 10 more minutes, and then I will be closing out this live. So if you have any questions specific to your situation, you may absolutely ask. It is the links are there in the description box below. Please register your questions through the links alone. All right? Okay. So let's get back. We are looking into what is the advice for you, and let's take a look at that, because I'm already feeling that energy coming through. What is the advice coming through? You're overthinking, aren't you? I think that it is getting to you. It is getting to you that your person's taking this time, because like I said, if roles were reversed, I think that you would have made the decision a lot faster, or I think that maybe your processing process, I guess I would say, is a little bit different from your person's. Of course, that is coming from your own experiences, the life that you've led. It's coming from your own, maybe the way that you function as well. But one message that's coming through is just because it's taking time on your person's end to make the decision does not mean that your person is not going to make an aligned decision. In fact, it's taking time on your person's end because they are making an aligned decision for you, for themselves as well. They want to do right by you. They want to do right by this connection as well. And it looks like when you are in the energy of, like maybe thinking too much, or maybe looking too much into what is not there, like, maybe when I say that, I mean your person's taking time, right, to make this decision. Maybe you're thinking that, oh, okay, it means they don't love me as much, or they don't care for me as much, or they're taking this much time, so maybe they're just confused about me. No, in fact, everything that's come out in the reading today is that your person's absolutely sure about you, but they want to be sure about themselves first before they make this decision. So you might be working against yourself and the energy of this connection by trying to read between the lines, because there are no in between the lines at this point. It just is that your person needs time to make this decision. It's just how they are. That's the energy that they are in at this point in time. That's where they're at with respect to their life as well. And one message that's coming through is the more you can allow your person to go through what they need. Don't hold them to any timeline, or don't hold them to a specific time period, like, oh, okay, they need to make this decision by this month, or I will feel like they don't care. The more you hold your person to specific timelines like that, the more you might actually be overlooking what they're going through. The more you might be not holding space for your person, their thought process, how they need to go through, what they need to go through in order to make the decision that feels aligned to them. So I feel like your person is making a decision for this connection, but if you were to hold space for them, I think that it would, first off, foster a lot of trust between the two of you. Second, I also feel like energetically your person will be able to feel supported by you, that yes, you understand that in certain decisions that they make, they need to spiral in order to feel grounded. And I think that by a really precious feeling, it looks to be, oh, hold on, says my connection is unstable and I need to wait before to be okay. Are you able to see me and hear me? Just leave a heart or a thumbs up in the chat box. I'll just pause for, okay, yeah, it seems that I'm back online now. If someone could give me a heart or a thumbs up, just to let me know if I'm live. I'll just wait for a minute and then I'll get back to the reading. Yeah, I think I'm live. Okay. All right. So what was I saying? Yes. So I feel like on your end, the time that your person is taking, what might seem like a long time for you might actually be just the necessary amount of time your person needs. And maybe in this respect, for you, you would have made a decision much faster, but maybe in another aspect, you would need to take your time to make that decision that feels aligned to you. So don't compare there. I think that comparing would work against you as well. because it looks like your person is going to be someone stable for you and for your connection, then how would you show up? So that's the energy that might be helpful for you to be in as well. So that's a big message that's coming through. And finally, we are going to get into the last question of this live reading. What is their next action? All right, so I'll do that right now. And for those of you who are joining in, hi, I hope you're doing well. And I'm going to be taking questions for another 5 minutes, like personal questions. Like if you have specific questions for your situation, you can absolutely ask. The links are in the description box below. You'll have to register your questions only through the link, but otherwise you're welcome to join the live. You're looking into one last question. The question is, what is your person's next action, right? So what is your person's next action? What is your person's next action? What is your person's action? 3 of Wands, okay, a little bit of a wait, but I want you to recognize this deck. We have two sides of the Tarot of Oppositions, all right? So one is where the waiting feels aligned, all right? The necessary time that it is needed for things to align for your person. And then we have the other one where it's not necessarily aligned. So we have this side coming out, which I feel is actually a really nice way to end this reading as well, where your person, it might take them some time to maybe go through the process that they need to, and in order to be completely ready for the decision that they wish to make for this connection. Maybe there are physical things that your person actually needs to sort out on their end in order to make that decision. So whatever it is, it feels like the weight is aligned. It feels like the pause that's there in your connection at this point in time, it is actually helping your person, and it's giving them the time that they need in order to be ready for you for this connection as well. All right, I'm going to get one more card, and then we are going to wrap up this reading. All right, one more card, and we have two coming out. Okay, we have the 7 of Wands and the 10 of Cups coming up. I struggle a little bit with the camera. All right, so beautiful energy to be coming through, of course, with the 10 of Cups. And we have the other side of the 10 of Cups. Hold on, let me show it to you. All right, yeah. The other side of the 10 of Cups with the 7 of Wands, yes, it's a little bit of a fight on your person's end. That is what their next action is. They're going to continue fighting for what they truly believe is alignment for this connection. And that fight is a little bit more internal, but it is a fight all the same. It looks like your person, I'm hearing a little bit of their inner conflicts, inner thoughts, figuring out other things in their life. So that's still work that they're giving towards this connection. That's still work that they are pushing through, because I feel like on your person's end, just between you and me, the energy is tough on your person. It's kind of like every step that they're taking, there's even more questions that are coming up to the surface. It's kind of like a battleground for your person. It's got nothing to do with how they feel about you. It's just past experiences that may be coming up to the surface for them that they need to work through in order to be ready for this connection, in order to be ready or give you what you deserve in this connection. So on your person's end, there's a lot of internal fighting that's going on. Like every step that they're taking, there's a lot of these questions that your person needs to fight through, needs to work through, and it is a battle with themselves that your person's going through. So it's difficult, and that's why it's taking the time that it is. But on your person's end, they're doing this slow and steady, which means they're making sure that it means that they've conquered everything behind it. So I feel in your person's perspective, they're feeling better about it. They're feeling like, yes, I can make this decision for myself. Or yes, I'm feeling confident that if I'm able to work through all of these thoughts that are spiraling, all of these thoughts that might be working against me, because we do have the 7 of Wands coming up, all of these thoughts working against me, it means I can trust myself to move forward. I can trust myself. I'm taking the time that I need, but at the same time, I'm moving forward as well. We ultimately have the 10 of Cups coming up, which I think is a very beautiful card to end your entire reading. At the end of the day, it looks like your person is moving towards choosing what makes them feel happy, and it looks like it is your connection. It might not look like it at this point in time, with the pause between the two of you, with the energy maybe being a little bit difficult. Maybe you were expecting an answer at some point and your person hasn't been able to come through. Maybe that has led to a little bit of friction between the two of you. That's understandable on your end as well. So I hope you can give yourself that kindness and that grace as well if you are not really necessarily aligned or feeling happy about the time that it's taking for your person to maybe make a decision, but at the same time, it looks like your person's working really, really hard towards what makes them happy. And you do make them happy. You do make them happy. And if your connection weren't as important to your person, they wouldn't be taking this much time to even work through it, because it's tough. It's difficult to actually work through maybe your internal conflicts, maybe what is stopping you from being completely aligned to the connection. It's difficult work, right? So, and your person's actually moving forward with it one step at a time. It's slow in your perception, yes, but in your person's perception, it's more of, I'm doing this the right way, or I'm doing this in a way that honors this connection, honors the depth of what I feel, honors the future that I see for this connection. All right. Beautiful energy to be ending today's reading. Have joined in for this entire live. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. And for those of you who are watching this after this has kind of gone into my playlist, I hope that this reading has brought you some kind of comfort, some kind of confirmation, some kind of clarity as well. And we have It's Me, Namira, with hello. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in as well. And I will be waiting here for another minute or two. If you have any maybe personal questions that you'd like to ask specific to your situation, I'll wait here for maybe a minute or two before I close out this entire live. I've been here for about 56 minutes. I feel like this is the time that I want to keep showing up. I feel like consistently I'll be able to keep up with this time. So that's around, I'm not sure what time it was when I started out. Hold on. Okay, well, I'm not sure what time it was, but it was around 11 a.m. my time, and that was 11 a.m. IST. If I'm not wrong, I think that was 12:30 a.m. PST and 9:30 p.m. EST. Yes, I think that's the time that I want to stick with consistently. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to be waiting here for another minute or two, and then I am closing out. If you want to ask specific questions related to your situation, you can absolutely do so. Please register your question through the link. But otherwise, I'm closing out this live, waiting for another 2 minutes max. All right, I'll close this out at exactly 1 hour. All right, so that's about 3 minutes from here. But otherwise, if you want to let me know your thoughts about today's reading, if you've stuck on, if some parts of it resonated, you can absolutely do so in the chat. Yes, you can ask a question, but you'll have to register the question through the link in the description box below. You can ask a question. I'll wait here for a couple of minutes, yes. And if you have any comments about today's video, you can absolutely do so. You can do so in the chat as well. If some part of it resonated, you can absolutely do so. All right. I'll just wait here for a couple of minutes and then maybe talk to you about, let's see, what can I talk to you about? Let me close out my cards as well, or I'll just keep them out here. I don't feel aligned to close out just yet. Okay. What was I saying? It's February 27th, Friday. For me, I feel like the days of the week blur out a little bit for me. Just that I'm usually working, like even on Sundays, there's usually work related to my business. I might not necessarily be online, but I'm usually like working things out for my business on Sundays. So the days of the week pretty much blur a bit for me. That's something I'm kind of working on as an entrepreneur. Like, I think I need to be a little bit more conscious of the day and what's going on. The date, yeah, the date pretty much I'm more or less on par, but the days of the week is just a little bit blurred for me. But overall, I just took a couple of days off for my mental health. I'm just here for a few minutes. I'm just here for a few minutes, and then I'll be here for another 2 minutes. I'm closing out at 1 hour. And if you have any questions, you can register your question through the link in the description box below, right? And don't see a link, hold on, let me post it. The link is there in the description box below, but I think if you're seeing it on your phone, maybe you have to, hold on, I'm posting it. these are the links I'm posting. I think I have 3 tiers for you to register, depending on what kind of question you want to ask. Yeah, those are the 3 tiers, 3 links. Yeah, but I think on the phone, it's, I think I've seen that when you go live, you have to kind of click the 3 dots at the top, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, but those are the 3 links. Alrighty. So yeah, about me, I'll wait for you, Namira, and then honestly, I think I just needed some time for myself. But yeah, feeling a lot better today, feeling a lot better. I usually resuming my normal videos, my usual ones that I post. I think it's 5 p.m. IST that I usually post. And then that's, I think, 6:30 p.m. for some of you in PST, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So I should be doing that. And yeah, it's almost Feb end. March is here. Last month of the quarter for me. And in India, where I am, March is where the financial year ends. So tax prep starts right after that as well. But other than that, doing okay, doing okay. What else? What else? I was watching Bridgerton season 4, part 2. I think it was okay. Not necessarily my favorite season. I think season 2 was my favorite. But part two was okay, I guess. I guess I'll give it like a 6 or 7 on 10 for me. I mean, compared to season 2, which was like 10 on 10. Both parts were, all the episodes were like on point for me. But this one, I like the story, but not necessarily the punch or the feelings that season 2 gave me, I guess I would say. So yeah, Bridgerton, I think we have to wait like 2 years for the next one, if I'm not wrong, right? Or 1.5 years for the next one. What else? What else? That's pretty much it. I'm waiting here for a couple more minutes and then I will call it. But this is just me talking, not doing any, pulling any tarot cards at this point, but just me being here. And if you have any specific questions, you can absolutely ask. Register your question through the link. But I just finished doing the entire tarot. So if you want, I think you can just like kind of go back to the reading if you're tuning in at this point. But other than that, yeah, I'll just wait here for a couple of minutes. The links are also, I put the links even in the chat box as well. But yeah, otherwise, just let me know. Let me know what you guys have been up to. What are you guys watching right now? Or where are you guys tuning in from? Yeah, that also, just let me know in the chat box as well. Can't think of anything to talk about. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait here maybe for a minute more. I think I'll wait here for a minute more. If you have any specific questions, you can absolutely do so. The links are there in the chat box as well as the description box. But otherwise, yeah, if someone books a reading live, like right now, and I've gone offline, then I will definitely pick it up for the next live, which I think it's going to be tomorrow. All right. So don't worry, your question, whatever you register your question, it will be answered through the live. But if you are coming through at the end of the live, then and I didn't catch it, That's the thing. If I didn't catch it, then I will definitely answer in the next live. And all of these lives, they will be there in the playlist, so you can always keep coming back to it if some parts of it resonated with you. If it didn't resonate when it went live, it doesn't mean it might not resonate in the future. So just whenever you feel called to it, just trust that there's a message there for you. That's one message that's coming through for me right now to tell you. But other than that, I hope you're doing well. And I am going to, I think I'm going to call it, I'm at 1:05, a couple more seconds. But yeah, if the question comes through and then I'm not able to get to it, don't worry, I will get to it in the next live. And I will definitely reach out to you via email as well. All right. Alrighty. So this is where I will leave you for today. I really hope that this reading brought you the comfort, clarity, and confirmation you're looking for. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye-bye.